The US government has declared natural disaster zones across half of the country. 54 million people are affected, and it's threatening to force up food prices right across the globe.
This is America, land of the dry. Reservoirs evaporating, rivers barely moving, farmland cracked and parched by a persistent, stubborn drought. Today, the U.S. Department of Agriculture reports almost half of all the nation's counties have been declared disasters, having endured severe drought for 8 or more weeks this year.
Probably 23rd hour, Dermot, of a red alert status. Red alert means that it is raining intensely, and intensely to a point where when I was reporting a couple of hours ago, I think I said it was about 3¼ meters of water.
The white areas in these images show the surface ice in Greenland on July the 8th. But only 4 days later, something extraordinary happened. Almost all of it melted, exposing the deeper blanket of ice that covers the country. 97% of Greenland was affected. Even Greenland's coldest and highest spot was affected, something that hasn't happened since 1889.
The coast is booming. Big swells are just pushing through this bay, through the tide, and the waves are up about 5 or 6 foot, and the vigorous winds are just pounding the New South Wales coast. Showers going sideways, winds knocking towards 100 kilometres an hour. Now, why is this happening? Why have we had 106 km/h winds across Sydney Harbour today, 102k across Newcastle? Out to sea, it's a whole different story. The ocean is putting on a show. 7-metre wave heights.
We did a lot about this in previous melting seasons, but now the moment seems to have finally arrived.
The sinkhole grew overnight.
Infrared equipment shows it's 10 to 20 feet wider. The sinkhole expanded to the north and south.
The summer of wild weather, the hottest July on record, crippling drought in half the country, and now tropical storms are bringing epic rains to the East Coast.
I'll say radiation from last year's collapse of the Fukushima nuclear plant in Japan is causing genetic mutations in butterflies found near the area. But because insects are believed to be highly resistant to radiation, scientists say the findings are somewhat shocking.
Jamaica Beach police say there are actually thousands that washed up all across the island overnight.
I grew up in this county for the last 50 years. I've never seen anything like it.
Residents in China's southwestern megacity of Chongqing have been puzzled by this strange sight this week. These images of the Yangtze River, the longest in China, have been surfacing since Wednesday. This stretch of the river around Chongqing looks like it's been dyed blood red.
It's a giant wall of dust 2,500 feet high.
The giant dust storm that blanketed Phoenix was so thick, so otherworldly, people throughout the city took out their cameras to record it as it coats the city, turning daylight into an unhealthy brown haze.
In tonight with breaking news. On the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, Americans and American symbols in 2 Arab countries tonight are under attack by radical Islamist forces.
That left the U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans dead.
American embassies around the world have been put on alert, warned against demonstrations and violent attacks.
Overnight, U.S. Navy forces began moving 2 U.S. destroyers armed with cruise missiles to the coast of Libya, part of the heightened state of alert across the region. This is all still very volatile.
Indonesia's Mount Gamalama erupted in dramatic fashion on Sunday, spewing ash into the atmosphere, covering the nearby city of Ternate. Driving conditions in Ternate have become dangerous due to the smog caused by the ash.
Britain has been hit by its worst September storms in 30 years after weeks of rain fell in just a few hours. Floodwaters swept through towns and villages, forcing hundreds of people